So we starting a new series here called 5 Minutes a Game. I'm gonna try to give you 5 minutes of game. I'm gonna try to keep it at 5 minutes. All right. But let's get into it. Yo, don't sell your grandma's house. Don't sell your grandma's house. Your grandmother busted her ass, cleaning up after rich white people, um, dealing with the most racist shit, busting her ass to buy that property that you just inherited. Do not sell it. Don't do it. You're going to regret that shit, especially if your grandmother bought a house in a major city. I know for a lot of us that grew up in California, my grandmother, both my grandmothers are still alive, thank God. But both of my grandmothers moved out of the neighborhood that they raised my mom and my dad and grandkids in. And the neighborhood that my grandparents invested property in was in the Bay Area. The Bay Area is Silicon Valley. My grandparents' house, my dad's house, 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,400 square foot house. And 10 years ago, that house was worth 2012. That house was worth $250,000. By 2019, when my dad sold that house was worth $1 million. My mom's parents' house, same neighborhood, not on the same caliber. The house was a 1,600 square foot house, but it was on a quarter-acre lot. They sold that house for $950,000. And these ain't, I'm telling you, I didn't grow up rich. I did not grow up rich. But these houses, my parents, my family bought houses in the Bay Area, which is a major metropolitan area. San Francisco, San Jose, Oakland, all major cities in the area. And they bought property, houses in the number one real estate market in the country. Now, I'm telling you this, if you have a property that you inherited a property from your grandmother, your mom, and they were able to buy this property outright. The house is owned outright. And all you gotta do is pay property taxes on it. Or if there is a mortgage still on the property, and your grandmother has owned the property since 1960 or 70 something, and she's never refinanced, and the mortgage is only $600, $700, $1,000, rent the motherfucker out. Don't move in the house. If you don't want to move back to the hood, that's fine. But understand this, when you getting them phone calls from Blake and Karen and niggas like me that are real estate investors, and we're calling to buy your property, I'm telling you, if you want to sell me your property, I will buy it. But I would much rather you keep the wealth within your family, because whether I buy your property or not, I'm gonna be straight. Because if you don't sell me your property, there's 3 other people in your neighborhood that will. Now, we can't complain about gentrification. Oh, the white people is moving in and all this other shit. When you're so quick, when your grandmother closes her eyes for the last time, you're so quick to look, who's the quickest person I can sell this property to? Now, your grandmother busted her ass for that property. Hold on to it. Don't sell it. Now, if it's tax liens on it and pre-foreclosure and you just can't keep up with it, you gotta sell it. But if your grandmother was anything like my grandmother, she took care of business. If your grandmother was anything like my wife's grandmother left her house to my wife. And my wife's grandmother passed 2 years ago. And the value of that house has gone up $150,000 in 2 years. So imagine what it's going to be like in the next 5 to 10 years. You could be selling something an asset that can be paying your rent or your mortgage, wherever you live, just by selling your grandmother's house. Look, Keep that asset. Keep that asset. I know you might not get along with your aunties and your uncles and shit, but keep it all business. All right? Don't sell your grandmother's house. Don't do it. Because you know what's going to happen? You sell that property and you grew up in a place like LA or Los Angeles or New York or Chicago. Once you sell that property and you get that money, you'll never be able to afford to come back to the Bay or LA again. All right? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace and love.